Good morning, afternoon, wherever you're at. Thanks for joining. This is a new year, and we get to essentially wipe the slate clean at 2025 and start brand new in 2026. And we have some amazing things happening over here at 1QR, and we appreciate you all for joining us, watching in replay, whatever you're doing. We are here to help support you and your business and understanding what 1QR is and how it can grow virtually any business. We understand times are changing. Searching is changing. The way people consume information is changing. And with all that comes a ton of noise. So positioning what 1QR really is. We are not a QR code generator. We are a point of interest access system. And let that set in for a second. A point of interest access system. That when someone's interested, they don't have to search, they don't have to dial, they don't have to text, they don't have to email. With 1QR, what's faster than all of that? Scan. Scan and get the correct information. Scan and get the correct phone number without having to look back at a business card and make sure you didn't put a 7 instead of an 8. And these are some of the things that you look at are changing in the future. And 1QR is going to be the solution that will outpace anyone in any business, in any industry, to give you that offline to online attribution, knowing what works and when it works. So we're just excited. As we're saying, it's a brand new year. We're going to do quite a few of these launch and learns, very general, specific ones. Then we're going to go general specific. Then we're going to go specifically into industries where there's adoption happening of 1QR because they are seeing that it is getting them more eyeballs, maximizing their marketing, getting people to take action at their point of interest. So again, we are a point of interest access system. When somebody is interested at that instant, they can take action. Most marketing is done for you to have to remember. If there's paper, if there's business cards, if there's signage, you have to remember that later. And then the path that someone ends up taking is searching. And a lot of times, if you're not SEO optimized, you're further down in the list and they're getting misinformation. They're getting information that maybe someone else has bought them as an eyeball for keywords that they're searching through. So being able to control that, being able to make sure that people are coming into your marketplace, your ecosystem, is something that is, I think, needed more now than it ever has been before. So 1QR. Yes, we do have QR codes. Those are the mechanism, but the product is the attribution. Understanding I can get people into action. So I'm going to stop share here, and we're just going to do a quick little look into 1QR. I've got my personal account set up somewhere where we can take a look at it. Here we go. Share screen here. And what you're going to see is I've logged in. I've got a ton of QR codes. Most of mine are done through examples, talking with people in the sales system, giving them examples of what can be done with 1QR, wherever they're placing it, whether it's on their vehicles, it's on a storefront, a flyer, a brochure, a business card. We just want to be able to allow for people to get to the access quicker. And again, scanning is much faster than dialing, than texting, than emailing, whatever it is. You can scan and get that information. I think about it all the time when I'm out and about, maybe taking my daughter to school, and you see service vehicles. and the marketing is, the company name and the phone number, maybe the website, and a lot of times people don't remember phone numbers. My past life, I joke around and say I have a concussed mind. Played football for quite some time, and I don't remember things like I used to. So I'm not going to remember a phone number, but I might remember what type of service they provide. And what it forces me to do is then go home and search, or get to the parking lot and search. And maybe it's not that company that brought the interest to me. So why not make it simpler for me at that exact moment to scan the QR code, to be able to get into their marketing, to get into being able to schedule maybe an HVAC system clean out. These are the types of things that we're going to see more and more happen in business. And we were talking about it the other day. A really cool term is essentially we are going to be a universal visual trigger. That you see it, you scan it, and it's triggering an action. So I'm going to just briefly generate a QR code and give us an example of the design elements, how simple this solution really is, knowing that it can be done on the computer. It can also be done from the mobile responsive web, or mobile applications that you can download from both the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. The search terms for those, if you don't have those, are oneqr.com, and it's that simple. So I'm just going to jump into this really quick. All I did, what you saw here, was I selected the plus sign, create a QR code. A lot of times people are wanting to say, I need to be able to brand this to fit my color scheme, my logo. These are the types of things that we do at OneQR. We allow for you to make this attribution system match your branding. So it's not questioned if it's just a black and white QR code like most of the ones that we're seeing out there today are. The destinations are dynamic, being able to point it to a text message, a call, an email, a website, whatever you would like it to do, you can do that. You can also schedule it to adjust based on certain days of the week or certain times of day. So you can almost set it and forget it and let it work for you and give correct information based on the time of day of week someone is scanning your QR code to get the information they're looking for and ultimately what you want them to find without having to search. So I'm just going to generate a QR code. I'm going to put on our website, oneqr.com, just for examples. Come in and pick the color scheme to our color, our blue. But I can dig in a little bit more. I can have essentially a frame. The frame is a call to action. Like if I were to come back up here and push call and come back down to a frame, the scan to call. It's call to action. That way, when someone's scanning it, they know what they're doing. I could do the same for text, same for email. If I'm going back and putting it in here, and a lot of our users implement OneQR in the real estate space, it might be scan for property info, scan for virtual tour. And that way the people understand when they're scanning exactly what they're getting. They don't have to search online for the virtual tour. They don't have to search online for the site page. One thing that we recognize a lot within the real estate space is where a lot of people end up searching. It's on platforms that potentially are giving misinformation, and that misinformation they really don't care about, because they're more about clicks. They're more about, hey, more eyeballs are on our platforms. Instead of giving them the correct information that you would like someone to go to, you control that. So we'll just keep this with Scan for Virtual Tour. We'll throw in a logo real quick and see if I can find our favicon for one QR. Throw it right in the middle. And that's the design of it. If I'm putting this on signage or on brochures, I would encourage you, do not make the image a background, because it makes it a little harder for the camera lens to catch all of the pixels, the design, the eyes of the QR code. So we would highly encourage you just to have your logo sit in the middle. We're expanding on logo designs where you could have long logos. You could have pretty much anything that you have from a marketing branding standpoint put within inside of one QR. Within real estate, we're seeing a lot of individuals utilize the show serial number. Now, it's not going to show this until the very end, just because it's part of a design and I have so many QR codes. But what we'll see here is a serial number will appear later on once this QR code is saved. And that is to identify for you, or if someone's moving signs for you or handing out brochures, you know what QR code is being utilized, which it then in turn is giving you attribution. You know what's being scanned. So we're going to move over into next. All this really is naming your QR code. What is this for? Where am I putting it? That way I can come back, and if anything changes, I can simply search for it from the dashboard and adjust the QR code. There's some really cool features within the application. We have our own scanner. If you scan your own QR code from the app, it takes you directly into the editor. So you're not having to search through and find where that QR code is from your whole list of QR codes. So I'm just going to put this on as a launch and learn example. Tagging allows us to have a deeper form of searching when going through all the QR codes. A lot of times people are like, well, why do I need so many? It's just depending on where are you marketing. If I'm spending money on print ads, if I'm putting money towards magazines, newspapers, yes, people still read those. I want to be able to understand what's working for me at all times, and being able to attribute those marketing dollars spent in advertising to come back and say it's worthwhile. I know that people are taking action within this. So I'm just going to simply select one QR. I can make this a template. That's something we'll probably cover in another launch and learn. Request location will be another one. That one's going to probably be more specific in industries when we get to that, based on if you have it on a vehicle. You could also put it on a business card, and when you hand it out and people are scanning it and moving it, handing it to other folks and people are scanning it, you're going to get the location of where those scans are happening. Oh, I highly encourage you always, in some situations, so not always, in some situations, to turn on the scan notification. What this does is if you have the app and someone scans this QR code, I'm going to get a real-time notification that QR code is being scanned. And again, that's bringing value back to me, that this solution is working. This universal visual trigger is working for me, and getting people out of the noise, and they're focused enough, they're intrigued enough that they're scanning the information and consuming the information we're providing to them. So I'm just going to go through, select save, and the QR code will appear. It will have a green radiant movement around it showing this QR code is now live. I can take this QR code and send it to print, get it on flyers, brochures. We could take it to a print company and say, we need to get a magnet for our vehicle, or even a wrap company for vehicles. That can simply just be done by downloading the QR code. There's two different types of download. The SVG is probably the one that's going to be the most crisp, scannable QR code, meaning you can take that thing up to the size of a billboard and it will be able to be scanned. So from a wrap company, I would send them the SVG file. It's simply going to download to your computer or to your phone, and you just share that file with the print company. The same thing, you can download a PNG, and if you're just going to print from your own little home print, you can get that on your brochures and flyers, take those over into whatever design you're utilizing to create that content, and the QR code is going to show the attribution of what is being done when people are interested enough in scanning the QR code. I'm not going to download it because I've got so many downloads. You can share, you can come back and edit. I understand what QR code this is, the tags, the destinations, and it's that simple. If I want to share this QR code, or essentially the destination of where it's going on social platforms, through text, through email, I would share the short link. There's an educational piece that we'll be working on here at the beginning of this year, showing people how you can take a picture of a QR code, or you can take a screenshot of a QR code, and how it's loaded into your photos. You can then get to the destination by hard pressing it, selecting the link, and going through. So it can be done, but just making things simpler, more convenient. You would share that short link through text, email, whatever form of it, digital communication that you would like to do. So with that, we're sort of going to wrap up this edition of our general Launch and Learn. We're going to encourage you to dig deeper into OneQR on what it can do, knowing that, again, the QR code is not the product. It's the mechanism that gets the people to the result that you're wanting them to get to. So I am going to wrap this up. I appreciate you for joining me today, and we'll see you on our future Launch and